Hey, what's up everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneur moms with a digital presence. If you're sad because the results you've gotten on Instagram aren't what you'd hoped they'd be, let me give you some perspective and explain why you don't need to be Instagram famous 2020. Yep, surprise! I take the position that you don't. And I'll even give you what I feel is the true sweet spot for you to shoot for that is far, far smaller than anything you might have guessed, but will likely still be effective for you as an entrepreneur mom seeking all those important business conversions. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get real world help that entrepreneur moms like you need to succeed when you're doing business online today. Now, if for any reason you haven't launched yet and you're stressing about what could go wrong, or you want to relaunch your Instagram account, if you will, and you want to know what mistakes to avoid making, you want to be sure to check out my video, The Wrong Way to Launch on Instagram. That video will be a big help to you and will hopefully help you to make the most of actually launching or relaunching on Instagram. So if you missed that video, be sure to check it out. But here in this video, we're talking about why you don't need to be Instagram famous 2020. See, I'm presuming as you watch this video that you are not trying to be an influencer on Instagram or anywhere else, but you are instead an entrepreneur mom who has a business where you're selling goods, services, or possibly both. However, if you are trying to be an influencer, you might just want to hear my warning about the curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer, because it just might save you months and even years of building up a huge following just to have it fail to bring you much, if any, income later, even if it's bringing you some money now. Just hang out until the end and you'll see what I mean. Size doesn't really matter. Okay, no being gross here. In this case, as an entrepreneur mom whose goal it is to get brand recognition, to score brand awareness with your niche audience on Instagram, and eventually score sales from them once you've scored enough KLT factor with them, the know, like, and trust factor, you really do need to focus on your following in terms of quality, not quantity. After all, as the age-old sales maxim goes, if you try to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one. You have to market to a niche in order to score many sales, and that's whether you're attempting to market and sell on Instagram or off of it. You have to have an offer that's dripping with the top benefits that are custom to the needs and or desires of your niche. People really do buy your offer more than they buy the actual products or services. The offer should have within it for your ideal customer the meaning behind their getting the solution or the satisfaction of their desires by virtue of availing themselves of your products or services. And that meaning really should be personal. It should be something that fits your ideal customer like a glove. So you're not selling products or services that are meant to help everyone. And your content marketing isn't meant for everyone either, on Instagram or off of it. It's really custom crafted for your niche, that very small slice of society who's meant to use your custom crafted products and or services to solve their unique problems and or to satisfy their niche specific desires. A niche, as you may know, is really the very narrowed down slice of society that has a particular interest in common, a problem they want to solve, or a desire that they have in common that they want to satisfy in one way or another. And your products or services are meant to help them do that. Only that particular slice of society that would be interested in your products or services is likely going to be interested in your Instagram content or your business at all anyway. So expecting to go supernova and become Instagram famous when you're content marketing in a way that's meant to build rapport or KLT really with members of your niche so that you can score business conversions from them like sales isn't a realistic expectation. Not if you're using Instagram for marketing purposes for a small business anyway, but that's okay. You're not a kid pumping out all sorts of random content on Instagram for fun. You're not likely an influencer who's trying to get the attention of anyone and everyone. And if you are, again, in a few minutes, I'm about to blow your mind. Hold on, because now we have to discuss the rise of the micro-influencer. It used to be that everyone wanted to have the biggest account they could possibly get on a social media platform. They'd buy likes, they'd boost content, they'd buy followers, they'd sub for sub, follow for follow, whatever the platform parlance or wording would be, they'd go for it. They'd buy engagement, swap engagement, and just publish their faces off, all for purposes of building a huge following on a given social media platform. More must be better, right? And believe me, this used to be what everyone running any given business model would try to do on a social media platform. Selling products? You'd want to do it. Selling services? Ditto. Want to be an influencer? Obviously, you want 1 million or more followers, subscribers, whatever the platform parlance was, right? Wrong. In 2018, the rise of the micro-influencer truly began. Forbes did a piece on this very subject on March 2nd, 2018, at which time they predicted that micro-influencers were the marketing force of the future. And they were right. It's not the sheer number of followers you have that is of interest to today's brands and marketers. It's the engagement in the community in question. Is it a viable, happy community with a common thread or interest that binds all of the community members together? A thread they're passionate about, extremely interested in, maybe even obsessed about in a very fine-grained way? And there happens to be lots of engagement on posts, comment threads, dozens of comments deep, and lots of likes, shares, saves, and more in terms of the content published to the platform for an account. Great. That's what brands and marketers want to see, not two-dimensional numbers that reek more so of quantity, but not of deep and true quality. What's a micro-influencer more specifically, you ask? Well, there isn't some perfectly bright line set of numbers to define this term, but some folks consider a micro-influencer to be someone who has a specific niche audience who are deeply connected to the micro-influencer themselves. Community is everything here. A micro-influencer could have such a following that's as small as 5,000 people to be interesting to many of today's brands and marketers. They'd rather work with micro-influencers over huge diva-esque influencers because 1, micro-influencers tend to be easier to work with. 2, they tend to be way less expensive. And 3, their pitches and overall content tend to convert more effectively because this is a custom specific community who is likely a better fit for the brand looking for the brand deal to get product out in front of that micro-influencer's people, let's say. This started happening hardcore on Instagram back in 2018 to 2019, and now many brands and marketers would much rather work with micro-influencers over big bloated influencers with vanilla followings who really aren't a hyper-engaged community, but just kind of all might have followed back in the day when there wasn't much competition for attention and connection with content back then. But later on, those folks sauntered away once there was more custom crafted content that tickled their particular specialized fancy. So look, Pandora's box has been opened in terms of micro-influencers. You can't close it and go back to the old days and just focus on the number of followers you have, especially on Instagram. No brands or marketers are going to care so much anymore about the sheer fact that you have 1 million followers for your account, whether you're trying to be an influencer or trying to run a business as an entrepreneur mom that has everything to do with the sale of products and or services. All they care about is that you have a tight-knit community that's super engaged with you and your content, because it has everything to do with a very specific type of interest that's caused them all to come together on your account in the first place. That is where the conversions tend to go down for you and for any brands or marketers that want to work with you. That's why I argue, especially long term, that size doesn't matter. You do not need some elephantine huge account on Instagram. You really don't. So do me a favor. Do not stress the importance of having a high quantity of followers for your Instagram account. You're missing the point. Your customers, your ideal customers, are not looking for a one-size-fits-all experience on Instagram, nor are they looking for a one-size-fits-all product or service to buy on or off platform. Don't believe me? If all else was equal in terms of pricing, which would you rather have? A custom crafted, custom tailored suit that was made just for you and your unique body shape, or an off-the-rack suit? You know the answer. You're going for the suit that was made just for you. And the same thing goes with respect to content-based marketing. On Instagram or off of it, people respond to the content that's made just for them, that intersects with their particular interests, likes, and tastes. Know your niche well enough and you'll score content marketing home runs with them, even if they don't number in the millions now or later on Instagram. Beware the curse. The curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer, therefore, has everything to do with people who were early on the Instagram scene, poured all of their effort into creating these enormous accounts in terms of numbers, whether they game the system or not, only to find that no matter how much content they poured out onto their profile, they were sooner or later left with this huge account that had little to no life in it. Maybe it never had much life to it, or maybe back in the day the account did, but because it was so vanilla in terms of content flavoring, or there wasn't much competition on the platform or whatever, but no matter what, soon these people had accounts that were digitally dead. No real life left in it, but nonetheless their owners are desperately trying to breathe life back into them. People who are suffering the curse of the Instagram zombie account influencer, they're not getting brand deals. They're not getting paid for shout outs anymore, if they ever did. They're not getting much comments or interest in much of anything. They just have a big old account that used to help them call themselves influencers. But now, because it's really all about the micro-influencer, this old-fashioned type of influencer is likely screwed trying to sell merch to an audience that never really was that hot on them to begin with. They just followed or subbed because why not? What else is going on? Oh man, who wants to suffer a curse like that? You're better off creating a high-quality audience on Instagram that consists largely of your ideal customer, because after you woo them for a while with custom-crafted content meant for people just like them, they're more likely to buy from you. So how many fans should you focus on working your way to on Instagram then? Before more followers are nice, but just gravy, in my opinion. With 6 years of experience in terms of online business coaching, let's give you an achievable interim goal that, if all else is equal, should score you conversions in terms of interest, following, direct messaging to ask you about your products and services, and eventually sales. 1,000 true fans. Let's have you start off, mama, working on getting 1,000 fans or followers for your Instagram account. And these followers, given everything I just said, should truly be members of your niche, whose unique interest intersects with what you've got to offer for sale. This is a more believable and achievable number than 100,000, but I'm recommending you start working towards 100 followers just to get things moving, and then 1,000 followers as a stretch goal for you. For an additional reason, Kevin Kelly authored an article in 2008 called 1,000 True Fans, and in the Tim Ferriss book Tools of Titans that came out in 2017, an update was given to it called 1,000 True Fans Revisited. The 1,000 True Fans concept blew up huge in the past few years, and here's why. Mr. Kelly advocated that, quote, instead of trying to reach the narrow and unlikely peaks of platinum bestseller hits, blockbusters, and celebrity status, you can aim for direct connection with 1,000 true fans, unquote. Per Mr. Kelly and Tim Ferriss, too, if you can get 1,000 true fans or followers or customers to love you and your business or brand so much that they'll buy everything or almost everything that you put out, you can make a very fine living, better than most other people ever will. As Mr. Kelly says in his 1,000 True Fans Revisited article that's contained in the book Tools of Titans, quote, it's a much saner destiny to hope for, and you are much more likely to actually arrive there, unquote. Can you scale and grow even more than 1,000 true fans or customers? Of course you can, but seriously, don't make yourself sick if you don't blow up to 1,000 fans overnight on Instagram or what have you. That's not your goal. You can't pay the bills with likes or followers alone, and you also can't pay much of any bills at all if Instagram goes, as it increasingly will over time, from vanilla to 3 million flavors of ice cream in terms of content, if you will. You want to put out content now that will attract a following that will help you and your brand stand the test of time and be profitable, as opposed to gorging on too much vanilla ice cream attention now, only to starve and turn into a zombie account down the road when everyone else is craving even more custom flavors and content designed just for their particular appetites. Don't worry. Over the course of this Instagram series on YouTube, I'll share with you the details behind what I feel in my 6 years of coaching experience is worthwhile in terms of content creation, content optimization, and follower engagement. So be sure to stick around and make sure you hit that notification bell, because in the next part of this Instagram series called This Piece of Instagram Advice Can Make You Fail Faster, I'm going to share with you some prevailing wisdom that perhaps you do not want to listen to, or you just might be sorry, no matter what type of business model you've got going on. All I'll say for now is that this advice seems like it's a good idea, but eventually it won't be if history is any indication as to how the Instagram app is going to evolve algorithmically. Intrigued? Well, you don't want to miss that next video is all I can say. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell and select all so that you can follow along with this entire Instagram series that I've got to offer you. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that video, be sure to check out these two awesome videos as well. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot when you do that. And of course, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.